used to say, go woke, go broke. Now, we've evolved. Trump won the election by the popular vote, and everyone realized, wait a second, maybe woke is dead. I was one of those people also saying woke is dead. Netflix lost $15.1 billion in the last 2 days because of how dead woke is. I was wrong. Woke wasn't dead. Woke was silent. Woke was suppressed. Woke was the losing end of the cultural battleground. But we're on a war to kill woke. We're killing woke for real this time. I'm sorry, man. Woke is dying in real time. So there's been a massive campaign to cancel Netflix. I covered that in my previous video. Elon Musk spearheading the charge because they're pushing trans crap on children, and it's disgusting. There's just millions of these clips that keep coming out from like these actual toddler shows, these shows for children, for 6-year-olds, and they're all like,
you may now kiss the brides.
They all just do be doing this constantly. Infinite woke, transgender for everybody. Everybody transgender. Bro, they were making fun of Trump when he was saying everybody transgender. That's what they want. Because, you see, they're very hell-bent on this thing called castrating your children. Now, you're probably thinking that I'm taking this too far. Nope, sorry. Charlie Kirk would have said you're a good people. We just need to pray for you. I say, you're bad people. We need to pray for you and destroy you. All right, listen, I respect Charlie Kirk immensely. You killed the negotiator. It's over. So, Emma WOKEson, known wokey actress extraordinaire, is getting absolutely obliterated, and as she should, because she's an ungrateful twat. And personally, you know, my opinion of ungrateful twats is we must destroy them. I am becoming radical in real time. You radicalize me, motherfuckers. You motherfuckers radicalize the shit out of me. What can I say? So it all started with this little clip, and then J.K. Rowling went bonkers on her and destroyed her. Now, the irony is, J.K. Rowling was a leftist. She really was. She was always a leftoid. People on the right hated her. And then she fought for one thing, which is women not getting raped by men in women's locker rooms. And she became an enemy of the left. So we took her. We are the party of forgiveness. We are the party of love. We are the party of actual empathy, not the twisted retard empathy that they claim to have. And it's woke is dead is not enough. We don't just need the culture shifting away from woke. We need to destroy it. This is satanic, barbaric shit. They want your children raped, and they want your children castrated. They want you to murder your children in the womb. This is the party of evil. Nux, you're going so hard. Not all of them. Yeah, they all want this. They all want this. Maybe because they're propagandized, but we're going to destroy them.
Well, I'd like to think so. And I think there are some other positive signs, too, that things are shifting. When you see the media starting to say trans women are men, then I think we really are winning. But Emma WOKEson was careful, wasn't she, not to go too far. I think what she's going to find now is you can't sit on the fence. She was a real cheerleader.
I am so happy that people are noticing. The fence-sitting era is over. For so long, people have said, listen, I don't want to get involved. I'm live and let live. Live and let live. I just want everyone to be happy. Just live and let live. No. You're murdering children. You're castrating them. You're evil. We're going to destroy you. Live and let live is over. Anyone who's still on the fence, on the live and let live fence, is sitting idly by while they are stealing, castrating, and murdering your children. Yep, that's the position. That's my position. That's the Nuxanor position. You might call it radical. You might call it extreme. I call it, I kind of want you to stop killing our children.
For Mermaids, the charity, and for transitioning children, and for people knowing who they are.
There's also kind of there's that...
Woke! Yeah, so in the back of the day, I don't know if you remember this because it feels like so long ago, even though it was just a year ago, the standard position publicly was transgender for children. It was the public position. Just a year ago. That's how insane it is. It's just a year ago that if you said there were two genders, they would literally try to kill you. You would get death threats and they would try to murder you. They would try to take your children from you. They would call Child Protective Services to take your kids. I don't think people realize how far we've come in such a short amount of time. But we did. We came an unbelievable amount, and it's not enough. Not enough. We have to keep winning. We have to keep winning.
Clip of her at the BAFTAs, and it was just kind of like a really snidey. There's that bit where she says, "I'm here for all the witch," like, but one. Or what, yeah, it was just nasty.
Yeah.
Right when J.K. Rowling.
Right when Emma WOKEson said, "I'm here for all the women but one." The one that she was not for was J.K. Rowling, a real woman. The women that she was there for women who were born with penises and want to rape other women in bathrooms and prisons. But no, just not all of them. You're right. What's your point?
Was getting a lot of death threats.
So whether she is trying to row back from that full-hearted support for transitioning children, or whether she's just trying to get back in with J.K. Rowling in the hope of work.
The culture is shifting, and all of these freaking retards are jumping ship. Never forget who the enemy is, ever. Never, ever. I'm sorry. You were part of the army of Satan. You think you're just gonna let you join our ranks just so you could flip-flop again the second this shit changes? No. It's over. I'm so sorry. You can apologize profusely. I will forgive you, but I will never trust you.
Who knows? Richard Dawkins is an interesting case because, you know, I'm sure when he wrote The God Delusion, he thought that was quite out there. It turns out that saying men can't become women is even more out there. And who would have thought that? But he is someone whose career is so established that he's not at any risk. The real win is when ordinary people can say those things. And
Completely and utterly correct. And ordinary people, I think, finally can. And I'm fighting for your rights to be able to. At this point, I have a career. Thank God. I'm very grateful to God for helping me get to where I am. Obviously, I get an unbelievable amount of death threats for this, but thank God I'm established. I don't just want ordinary people to think this way. I want people that don't think this way to be demonized in society. I want to go the extra step. Because you not thinking this way means that you are more happy to indoctrinate children into killing themselves 42% more often. I actually think that this is evil and it needs to be uprooted. It's not just a live and let live situation anymore. It is actually dire. Now, J.K. Rowling made a tweet of all times. Right, this is a Trump-level tweet, and therefore, I will be reading it in the Trump voice. I'm seeing quite a bit of comment about this. I wanted to make a couple of points. I'm not owed eternal agreement from any actor who once was playing a character I created. The idea is as ludicrous to me as me checking with the boss when I was 21 for what opinions I should hold these days. Emma Watson and her co-star should have every right to embrace gender identity ideology. Such beliefs are legally protected. For now, we're fighting to destroy that. And I wouldn't want any of them threatened with loss of work or violence or death because of them. I don't want any violence or death, but I do want them to lose their jobs. I do, actually. I really do. Yeah, absolutely. I'm fully on board of these people want to ruin children. They want children castrated. I actually don't want them in the public eye, actually. No, so yeah, I'm on the other side. I'm a radical these days. Sorry. Not you radical. Yep, radical. Sorry. You can call me whatever the fuck you want. You don't give a shit what you call it. However, Emma and Dan in particular have both made it clear over the last few years that they think our formal professional association gives them a particular right, nay, obligation, to critique me and my views in public. They do. Everyone's been shitting on J.K. Rowling. Especially the leftoids. Now, the irony is the right-wing people that used to make fun of J.K. Rowling, because J.K. Rowling would go back and say, oh yeah, Dumbledore was actually gay, and all the right-wing people would like make fun of her for rewriting history to shove woke shit. And then she went out there and she said one thing about trans people, and they fucking wanted to kill her. And then she's like, yeah, actually, maybe the right side of history is the side of history that doesn't want to kill me when I try to protect children. Years after they finished acting in Pota, They continue to assume the role of de facto spokespeople for the world I created. Yeah, because unironically, J.K. Rowling gave them their entire career, their entire life. Every time I see Emma Watson in any other show, the first thing I think of is Hermione every single time. Sorry, you will forever be living in the shadow of the woman that you hate so much. When you've known people since they were 10 years old, it's hard to shake a certain protectiveness. Until quite recently, I hadn't managed to throw off the memory of children who needed to be gently coaxed through their dialogue in a big scary film studio. For the past few years, I've repeatedly declined invitations from journalists to comment on Emma specifically, most notably on the witch trials of J.K. Rowling. Ironically, I told the producers I didn't want to be hounded as the result of anything I said. The television presenter in the attached clip highlights Emma's all witches speech, and in truth, it was a turning point for me. Turning point, baby, that's where we're at. That's where culture is. Culture is at the turning point, it really is. But I had it as a postscript that hurt far more than the speech itself. Emma asked someone to pass on a handwritten note for her, to me, which contained the single sentence, "I'm so sorry for what you're going through." She had my phone number. This was back when the death and rape and torture threats against me were at their peak. At the time, she's talking a little victim-y, so I can't keep doing the Trump voice. He's more into, like, you know, dropping the N-bomb these days. As at a time when my personal security measures had to be tightened considerably. Why is it that all the people that are against transgender ideology need to heighten their security considerably? It's kind of weird, right? Like, you think that the party of empathy, the tolerant party of empathy with empathy and party, you'd think that those guys would not be the death threat party, would not be the assassination party, would not be the evil fucking degenerate hive mind fuck show party. You'd think, because they have so much empathy, right? That's like their entire fucking brand is empathy. Why is this happening? Well, I'll be honest. Steven Crowder just did a changed my mind where he went onto college campus to talk. He obviously was wearing body armor because obviously someone tried to assassinate someone. Z. Cohen Sanchez. You probably don't know who this is. I do. Unfortunately, I was notified by a lot of who this Z person is. The Unfuck America tour is the Destiny and her and Dean Withers and like a lot of the leftoid gaytheists get together. And they were originally made to hound and follow around Charlie Kirk. They were basically supposed to go to every single campus Charlie Kirk was supposed to be giving a speech. They were supposed to follow him around to threaten him by speaking to people and having a much more cool, hip, leftoid worldview. So this is someone who knowingly goes on these college tours, followed around Charlie Kirk with her entire project, saying, why is Stephen Carter wearing a bulletproof vest at a conservative campus? Right? Implying that conservatives are the dangerous ones that you have to look out for. So leftists don't murder him, you fucking retard. Your side assassinates people. This has 1 million views. It's true. It's actually true, because that's where we're at, man. That is absolutely where we're at. Zero exaggeration. That's where you're killing us. You want us dead. You celebrate our deaths. We're not the same. And I was constantly worried for my family's safety. Emma had just publicly poured more petrol onto the flames. Yet, though one line expression of concern from her would reassure me that a fundamental sympathy and kindness. Like other people who've never experienced adult life, uncushioned by wealth and fame, Emma has so little experience of real life. She's ignorant to how ignorant she really is. Dude, she should be an author or something, J.K. Rowling. This is a crazy tweet. She'll never need a homeless shelter. She's never going to be placed on mixed-sex public hospital ward. True. I'd be astounded if she's ever been in a high street changing room since childhood. Her public bathroom is single occupancy and comes with a security man standing guard outside the door. Has she had to strip off in a newly mixed sex changing room at Council Run swimming pool? Is she ever likely to need a state-run rape crisis center that refuses to guarantee to all female service? Find herself sharing a prison cell with a male rapist who identified it to the women's prison. I wasn't a multimillionaire at 14. I lived in poverty while writing the book that made Emma famous. I therefore understand from my own life experience of what the trashing of women's rights in which Emma so enthusiastically participated means to women and girls without her privileges. The greatest irony here is that Emma has decided in her most recent interview to declare that she loves and treasures me. A change of track, I suppose. I suspect she's a thought because she's noticed full-throated condemnation of me is no longer quite as fashionable as it was. I might have never been this honest. I mean, to be honest, we all know the reason is because the culture is shifting and we should never forget, never fucking forget, never absolutely fucking forget. That's where we're at, man. That's where we're at, realistically. The culture is changing and all the fucking wokies are jumping ship. Never forget. These people wanted your children raped and castrated. Never fucking forget. Again, I will dole out forgiveness to all of these people. Absolutely. But I'll never give you trust. And I'll never forget. Adults can't expect to cozy up to an activist movement that regularly calls for a friend's assassination and assert their right to the former friend's love, as though the friend was in fact their mother. Emma is rightly free to disagree with me, and indeed discuss her feelings about me in public, but I have the same right, and I finally decided to exercise it. She fucking killed her. She murdered her. Alright, she dropped the fucking Harry Potter 8 over here and murdered her. It's over. It's actually over. Now, people are noticing how over it is because the TikToks are rolling in. And when TikTok takes the side of J.K. Rowling, you know culture is shifting.
J.K. Rowling has launched a scathing attack on Emma WOKEson.
No, she didn't. She did not run a scathing anything attack. She was defending herself after all the Harry Potter twat stars all ran around shitting on her constantly because she was transphobic. Anything but transphobia. I hate transphobia.
To her interview speaking about their rift over transgender rights.
You see, I personally believe that grooming gangs that are raping children are actually helpful for a diverse culture. Diversity is truly our greatest strength. And what are a couple of British girls getting raped to stop me from granting amnesty to illegal immigrants? I'm so British and intolerant.
Harry Potter author slammed Watson, who played Hermione in the movies, in a lengthy statement this morning, calling her ignorant. The author slammed, like other people who've never experienced adult life uncushioned by wealth and fame, Emma has so little experience of real life. She's ignorant of how ignorant she is. I'll
be real, reading it in my accent definitely made it better. You could disagree. If you disagree, you should unsubscribe because you obviously have no sense of humor. But my accent was superior.
Watson spoke to Jay Shetty on his podcast earlier in the week about their feud. She said, "The thing I'm most upset about is that a conversation was never made possible. I think it's my deepest wish."
You have her fucking cell number, you snake.
"That I hope people who don't agree with my opinion will love me, and I hope I can keep loving people who I don't necessarily."
You all literally celebrated Charlie Kirk's murder. Don't start becoming the I love people even if I disagree with them crowd. The shoes won't fit, lady. I'm sorry. Your party, your group, your entourage, you've revealed your true colors. All right? Well, we're never going back to this innocence of, hey, let's just find unity. Let's explain to them with words and kindness. How about, even though baby at 22 days old already has a complete heartbeat, a functioning heartbeat, and looks like a baby. And in order to perform an abortion, you need to fucking chop their limbs off to fit them out. Right? Like it's a little teeny weeny little itty bitty baby. And they will still say we should murder that baby. All right? I'm sorry, party of empathy. With all due respect, we're not going to find a middle ground. You want to kill children.
Share the same opinion with. Watson insisted she still treasures Rowling, but the Harry Potter author didn't seem to share this view.
Obviously not. After years and years of slamming her, she goes and tries to do this fake empathy bullshit. Well, I saw Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, got so much praise for forgiving her enemy. I decided I'm gonna forgive my enemy as well. No one's buying this shit, man. It really, it's so transparent, it's insane. Thank God there's people like me that's willing to actually call it out. I'll just be real. Thank God for me. All right, listen. I'm the most humble YouTuber, okay? All right? But I do want to say, everyone needs to be picking up Charlie Kirk's microphone. We cannot let this happen. We cannot let this culture backslide and survive until there's an ability for it to rise up again. It needs to be destroyed, okay? Woke is dead is a very, very naive ideological perspective about how the woke movement has definitely slowed down and is a cultural minority. But it's not dead. It's waiting to kill you again. But we need to kill it first. Non-violently, but we need to fucking do this shit. We do.
During a spoof clip of Watson during the podcast,
We should not tolerate this.
Rowling previously said she couldn't forgive Watson or Daniel Radcliffe or other celebrities who cozied up to a movement intent on eroding women's hard-won rights.
Based! Yeah, you shouldn't actually cozy up because it's all fucking fake shit anyway. It's like the Free Palestine thing that's going on right now. It's like so basically, in case you're not up to date with the news, Trump released and Netanyahu together released a peace treaty idea where they said, listen, we're going to end the war. We just need our hostages back and Hamas to leave. Hamas is a terrorist organization that started the war. So Hamas needs to leave and we want our hostages back that you've kept for 2 years and the war ends. The entire pro-Palestine movement around the world came together to say, it's not enough, don't accept the deal. You have been standing on the bodies of dead Palestinian children for 2 years, screaming at the top of your lungs to end the war. But ending the war is not enough? Like, dude, that's why this is all a scam. That's why this is so obviously all a scam. It's the despicable scam. There's no reason to trust this shit. It's like, you see what the people say themselves. Here, I just pulled on randomly, completely randomly. The only plan for Gaza, dismantling the fake state of Israel, giving back the land to the Palestinians, returning Jews to Europe. For the record, 83% of Jews in Israel were born in Israel. You're probably not aware of that, but that's true. So, and the other 17% is a mix of people from Europe, from different Arab countries where they were expelled, and from America that have moved there. That's the second point, in case you were curious. The third point is, bro, this is the end of the genocide. They're starving. This is a genocide. They're retards. They're all retards. Every single one of them is retards. Like, dude, it's so hilarious how often they try to do this. It's insane. Some of you seem confused. Let me clarify. I don't want peace with Israel. I want Israel gone. That's right. That's right. They don't want peace. They just want to wipe out all the Jews. It's simple as that. There is no peace with genocidal maniacs. Bro, you started a war. You're losing the war. I'm sorry it's happening. It's shit. I hate that children are dying. I hate that innocent people are dying. I want the war to end. You don't. The people that don't want the war to end are the Free Palestine people because it's all a grift. The entire woke movement is built on grifts and lies. Every ounce of it. These people were pro-trans. They didn't fucking give a shit about trans. They were only pro-trans because it was the way. It was the thing to do. Because the people we were looking up to were all making child sacrifices to the Moloch, so should we. Anywho, a critical drinker just made a video on Emma Watson. I wanted to look at it because I wanted to catch up. I have to understand exactly who my enemies are. I'm sorry if I'm going a little too explosive recently on my videos. I just firmly believe it's exactly what we need to do. God didn't command us in the Bible to curl over and die when people tried to steal our children and castrate them. On the contrary, God actually was pretty strict on people that wanted to murder our children. He had an idea for murdering them first, actually. Now, I propose murdering them with no violence. All right, zero violent murder. We need to murder the idea. The culture needs to be destroyed. This entire counterculture coming to destroy the West? No. I ain't sitting by anymore. I'm sorry. We're picking up Charlie Kirk's bloody microphone. Anyway, let's see what Critical Drinker had to say.
Oh dear, it's not a very good time to be Emma Watson, is it?
Uh-oh.
From child actor...
Imagine being a fake, plastic, transparent retard bitch. It must be difficult. It must be rough.
To indie darling, to big budget star, and finally to whiny, controversial and divisive activist.
That is where they all end up. That's where they all end up. Everyone starts losing relevance. Listen, I'll be real. They started a big star, big production because of someone else. They want to make a name for themselves. They try to do some shit themselves. They try to do some raunchy shit themselves. Then how are you gonna get eyeballs on you? Become an activist. It's either activism or porn. It's one or the other. Pick a road, modern woman. This will destroy you forever, but hey. At least you're not going to be getting married to a man that'll help support you and where you can have children and live a comfortable life. Anything but that. Anything but a nice, comfortable life married to a powerful dude that'll take care of you and give you babies. That sounds terrible to me. That sounds awful. When you're 80 years old, completely alone with no kids, damn, I'm sure you're going to be thinking back, thank God I don't have kids to take care of me. Thank God. Probably. That was a joke. Obviously, they would never say thank God.
Increasingly disconnected from reality and now publicly ridiculed by one of the biggest names in modern culture in what may go down as the most savage dressing down in history.
Based.
Ever since she exploded onto the big screen with the Harry Potter franchise, her acting has carried her to the very cusp of A-level stardom before it all came to a shuddering halt.
That's right, she even played in the new Star Wars that doesn't exist, that we'll never talk about ever again. That didn't happen. There were only 6 Star Wars movies. There were no other Star Wars movies.
One of the most baffling acts of career self-sabotage outside of Rachel Zegler.
It's Hollywood, baby.
A woman who pinned her...
Imagine being in Hollywood and you're like, alright, do I get a boob job or to become Greta Thunberg? Do I get a boob job or do I become Greta Thunberg? I can't decide.
Reputation, her public image, and her entire worldview on whatever happened to be most popular at the time, never considering that the cultural winds might change and what's popular today.
That's right. They're all grifters. Every single one of them. All of the fucking Hollywood elites that came together to say, vote for Kamala Harris. Y'all look so stupid right now.
Might not be popular tomorrow. So saddle up, dear viewer, grab your wizarding wands and whatever other stupid shit they use in Harry Potter, let us examine the crash and burn of Emma Watson.
Alright, let's go, dude.
Emma Charlotte Duer Watson was born in Paris, France in 1990 to a pair of...
You could just close it there. I understand everything. That's all I needed to hear. Oh, dude, I didn't realize we were talking about France.
wealthy lawyers. So naturally she grew up with all the benefits of having wealthy parents, private schooling, tuition, multiple homes, and access to any clubs and interests she wanted to pursue. One of which turned out to be...
Sounds like someone that should stand up for talking about the poor immigrants that are raping children in England. In my opinion, she is the perfect example of someone that should fight on the right. I fight for the rights of the people that are raping children in England. Shout out to her. I'm sure she had lots of things to say about the guy named Jihad Mohammed that just murdered 2 Jews. I'm sure she has lots to say about that in a synagogue in England. And then he was executed before he was able to pull off his fucking self-immolation self-explosive that he wanted to use to suicide bomb the synagogue. Thank God they killed him first. But he took 2 Jews with him on the way. So the Free Palestine movement is obviously organizing a protest in the honor of Jihad Mohammed, a guy that murdered 2 Jews in England. Who the media says was an act of far-right terror. Sure it was.
Acting. Fuck me, she basically is Hermione Granger. Anyway, by 1999, a series of books about a boy wizard were turning out to be pretty popular, and work soon began on adapting them into a movie franchise. For this, they needed a bunch of child actors to play the 3 leads, including Hermione. Their searching soon led them to the Oxford Acting School where Watson was studying, and after no fewer than 8 auditions, she was finally cast in the role. And well, all I can say about her early performances is... you can tell that she was a theatre kid, that's for sure.
I'm Hermione Granger, and you are?
I was a Karen at the age of 11. Nothing's changed since then.
Just taking aside though, for a 10-year-old that had never acted in a movie before, I guess she was fine. Daniel Radcliffe was way better though. Anyway, you don't need me to tell you that the Harry Potter movies would go on to become a global phenomenon over the next several years, keeping Watson and her co-stars so busy that she literally didn't act in anything else until 2007, when she appeared in the TV movie Ballet Shoes, a film that landed mixed reviews and didn't do a whole lot for her career. In public, the Harry Potter series was going from strength to strength, but behind the scenes, the cracks were starting to show. Watson and the...
I mean, to be honest, that's one of the issues with when your entire career is predicated on the work of other people, you're really always afraid that you're never going to be able to break out and make something of yourself. So I definitely get that fear. It's just she decided to become a demon, and she decided to fight for the other side.
Others were burned out by the constant demands of filming and promotional tours, and when it came time to renegotiate her contract after the Goblet of Fire, she seriously considered leaving the franchise altogether.
Really?
Still, she was eventually convinced to sign on again. It's amazing what a
Imagine changing they were going to change the character, the actress for Hermione. That's crazy. I didn't know that. But yeah, no, obviously. Oh my god, the poor multi-millionaire, what are we gonna do? She's just a multi-millionaire making a decision. Will she make another $10 million next week, or will she not? So many decisions, so many decisions. I'm really glad we have her talking for the poor class of society. She understands what they went through.
$1 million paycheck can do for a girl, isn't it? And by 2011, the series came to a close with Deathly Hallows Part 2. For the first time in more than a decade, Watson was on her own. She'd basically grown up with Harry Potter. She'd never had a normal childhood or lived a normal life, and she likely never would.
Yeah, child stars, truly, like, on the one hand, like cinema, I love movies and shit and whatever, like, you know, most boring take of all time. I like movies, but yeah. On the other hand, it's literally ruining these children's lives. There is no way this is a healthy environment for anyone. There's no way any child actor or actress ever comes out of that hellhole normal. They've all gone through the fucking Diddy party spin around at that point. Like, it really is a demonic society.
That one in mind because
I can't believe the woke Jews would do this.
Be important later. The question now was how to escape the long shadow of Hermione Granger and forge a career of her own.
What if she becomes a main character in a Star Wars movie about feminism and gay sex?
First few outings were mostly low-budget indie movies, everything from biopics like My Week with Marilyn to romantic dramas like The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and even heist movies like Bling Ring. None of them were big hits.
I have never heard of any of those movies.
But they did at least prove that she could be more than a mildly annoying bookworm with crappy hair. 2014 saw her move into big-budget filmmaking with Darren Aronofsky's Noah, followed up by low-budget thrillers Colonia and Regression. No matter the budget or the quality of the movie, one thing that stayed consistent were the positive reviews for Watson's acting. Now in her mid-20s and arguably at the peak of her career, she was developing a reputation as an eclectic and confident performer, willing to take on challenging roles and play against type, equally at home on the big or the small screen. An actor who wasn't just chasing fame and money, but taking on projects with actual artistic merit.
And then she became a slacktivist. A gay theist slacktivist fighting for the rights of your children's testicles to be in the hands of their teachers.
Well done, Emma. Her star was rising. She was rapidly becoming the new it girl of Hollywood. Young, talented, intelligent, and sophisticated, she could navigate interviews like a pro. She was a natural in front of the camera, and she held all the correct opinions on important political topics.
Which is definitely important, obviously. Like, you don't actually want an actress for their skill. Their looks are good, but looks are secondary to the correct political opinions, because you see, this is just simply another propaganda machine. Like, you thought the media was a propaganda machine? Dude, Hollywood's a propaganda machine. It's all fucking psyop. Right? We are living in a world that is under so many layers of lies upon lies upon lies that it's a miracle any of us make it out there and actually see any sort of truth in the world. Dude, I'll be real. Without the guiding hand of scripture, I don't know how we'd make it, which we wouldn't, which is why God was, like, you know, a genius and stuff and gave us scripture. Yeah, we'd be cooked. We'd be cooked. Well, like, we would be so cooked, you know? Imagine you're going up against the multi-million-dollar, trillion-dollar media machine of Hollywood holding hands with the fucking establishment and the media, and they're all shoving this propaganda filth down your throat, except children that want to change their genders and cut their balls off, you know, and they're literally shoving that shit down your throat constantly from all sides. And if you ever voice a different opinion, they will come for you. They'll ruin your career. They'll get you fired. They will harass you. They'll send you death threats. They'll make you unsafe to live in your own home. They will ban you from social social media. You don't remember this probably because this was like 10 years ago, but people would get banned on social media for say this. You misgender somebody, you get fucking banned on YouTube. Steven Crowder was demonetized. Alex Jones was removed from YouTube. You know, like, dude, it's constant. It's everywhere. And realistically, this is the war that's being waged on us, and it has been for years. It will take a very long time to strip back the layers upon layers of lies. But Deus Volt, God commands us to fight lies. Distance yourself from lies, it says in Deuteronomy. And that's the war we're waging right now. And for any single person that does the shameful, easy, weak thing of just saying, you know what, I'm going to take the side of lies. It'll make my life easier to just become a propagandist puppet. And that way I'll just be able to go about and coast and do my own thing. If you take the side of lies, just know karma will come for you. And so will I.
Topics. When the Me Too movement kicked off, Emma was all over it like a fly on
The Me Too movement was one of the most destructive movements ever. I'm tired of making believe it's not. For everyone who's supposed to say Me Too was a great thing, Me Too was dog shit, okay? I fully believe that rapists should get imprisoned and stuff. In fact, maybe even castrated. All right, I'm not against castrating rapists, by the way. You're a rapist, take your balls. I fully support the Nux solution to it'll take time until the Nux solution becomes the public sentiment, but I'm willing to fight that war, that silent battle, until we get there. All right, listen, I'm very anti-rapist here. Also, very anti-ruining somebody's life over allegations that are unsubstantiated. Because, unfortunately, if you are spreading unsubstantiated lies, not only are you going against the 10 Commandments, which in my opinion already should give you pause. Listen, this is God's top 10 that you're going against, all right? Not only should that give you pause, thou shalt not bear false witness, but also, you should definitely get the same punishment or for whatever crime you're trying to put on somebody else's shoulders. Look, I know the suffering of false allegations. Hassan Piker, the largest leftist political streamer in America, constantly calls me a pedophile for no reason at all, with no evidence of anything, because none of this shit ever happened. And they're just, constantly pushing that because he wants to ruin my life over it. And he knows that if I ever sue him, I'll actually have to spend millions and go to court over this shit, and defamation is really hard to prove in the United States. So defamation is a big issue, and I think that anyone that actually defames someone should get the same level of punishment. So the Me Too movement basically made it a really easy way for people to join up, link hands, and say, wait, that guy raped me. And I don't have evidence, but these 14 other women also say it, so therefore it must be true. And they basically destroy people. Sometimes it's true, and the guy's a rapist, and he should be castrated. But sometimes he's not a rapist, and that's evil. That's evil. And no punishment will ever fall onto these 14 women who all came together to girl boss him out of the spotlight. So I think the Me Too movement was a giant movement predicated on lies and deceit, instead of one that was actually based on justice for victims.
Speeches about feminism, establishing activism groups, and even getting appointed to the UN as their goodwill ambassador for women.
Way.
Because
the UN has to go. When did I become Nux, the destroyer of corporations, the ender of administrations? Well, what happened? Am I just grumpy now and want to burn everything to the ground? Yes, I am. Don't answer the question, comments. All right, don't answer the question. That's where we're at. We're at war. All right, we're at war. And I'm done. I'm just so tired of it. I'm telling you, man, the Charlie Kirk assassination was the turning point. I'm picking up the microphone and I'm fucking yelling.
Truly, no one understands the plight of women in repressive third world regimes better than a multi-millionaire, privately educated theater kid Hollywood actress that's
I'm really happy that we have someone like Hermione Granger to talk up for the poor, innocent Yazidi women in Syria that are being trapped in cages and lit on fire for refusing to convert to Islam. I'm really happy we have someone like Hermione Granger to talk about that. Oh wait, that was never brought up in the UN. The UN never actually talked about that because the UN just hates the West and they're too busy yelling at America or Israel or something.
Never held a normal job in her entire life.
Really?
But more on that later. Pretty soon, Watson wasn't content just to make speeches in front of rooms full of elderly politicians who probably wished they were literally anywhere else. She was bringing her activism directly into the movies she starred in.
For the record, why do you want an actress to give speeches about anything? Like, her entire career is literally her reading words that were written by smarter people. That is literally her entire career. Why should we ever take anything she ever says seriously?
The live-action Beauty and the Beast was rewritten at her request to make Belle into an inventor and engineer because...
No way.
Girls get it done.
Her political...
Yeah, no, dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. They made her a girl boss in Beauty and the Beast on her request, obviously. I'm telling you, man, this all comes downstream from radical feminism. That's where all of this ends up. It's the endless empathy for... Well, you can't have empathy for your children if you're so busy aborting them and becoming a girl boss. So obviously the empathy has to be for retards.
Worldview could best be described as I support current thing,
That's
also
it, baby.
known as the Mark Ruffalo technique.
Gay!
No matter the issue, no matter the complexity or the nuance, you could pretty much guarantee that Emma Watson would be right there in the thick of it, pushing whatever the progressive consensus happened to be at the time. She was less of a person with her own opinions and ideas and more like a series of safe, politically
Yeah, we have to stop putting these people on pedestals. They need to be shamed and humiliated for even having the balls to voice an opinion like this in public. Like, your opinion is worth nothing. Like, literally less than nothing. Your job is reading the words written by smarter people. You thinking that you have the right to think that your opinion is worth anything more than anyone else is disgusting. It's despicable. You are literally a propaganda machine. You are part of the enemy's apparatus, and we will never forget.
correct talking points wrapped up in a flesh suit, all delivered with the kind of sneering upper-class British disdain that can only truly come from playing life on easy mode from the day she was born. But just like an overloaded cauldron filled with the wrong ingredients, problems were a-brewing, dear viewer. Remember the lady who wrote all those wizarding books?
Yeah.
It turns out she'd become quite rich and famous over the years, and as a big raging progressive
Look at
feminist
that.
herself, she and Emma were marching in lockstep on
Yeah,
almost
that's the crazy thing. J.K. Rowling is like a radical feminist. People forget it because she's radically anti-trans, but she is very feminist. I'm not going to sit here and say that I agree with her opinions, because I don't, for the most part. But on the trans issue, she's like, wait a second, if we're promoting transgender shit, then aren't we like putting actual like real women with like vaginas at risk? Like, aren't they at risk because I don't understand, says J.K. Rowling, witnessing the flaw in her own issues. Because realistically, the people that pushed the transgender shit were the feminists. That's right. It was the largely white, women, progressive, libtard movement that promoted this shit. That's right. That's right. It was your ilk, J.K. Rowling. It was your ilk.
every issue. All except one.
Yeah, baby.
It turns out that the wizarding lady had a few issues with the T part of LGBT and
Yeah, the T stands for terrorist.
began voicing her concerns with increasing volume. And the reaction from the other side was, well, how can I put this?
It's so funny. It's so funny how, like, essentially, she's like a feminist leftist. I don't agree with her on, like, any of her actual political opinions, except for one. But I am so much more welcoming and accepting towards someone like her than the people that literally agree with everything she has to say, except for that one thing. Like, dude, it's literally going to show. Like, I am actually here. I am actually here with open arms for literally anyone. Again, if you disagree with my opinions, which you probably are, I'm pretty outspoken these days, and a lot of my opinions, some would say, are pretty radical. If you disagree with them, I will have nothing but respect for you. You have every right to disagree with my opinions. You'd be wrong, but you'd have every right to disagree with them. But you'd have every right to disagree with them. I would never want any harm upon you or anything like that. I would pray for you to realize I was right about everything all along, or not, depending on whatever it is. But listen, I'm all for another opinion. I really am. I just actually don't really want you to murder children or castrate them, like if possible, like if at all possible. I would really prefer if you didn't do that.
Now Emma was in a bit of a tricky spot because she'd made it her mission in life to support current thing, but now the wizarding lady
But
who
the
she
current thing is against Mom.
owed her entire career and stardom to was openly attacking one of the most sacred parts of current thing.
no.
What to do? Should she stand firm beside her friend of 20 years and back her up? Should she
More than a friend, someone who gave you your entire life on literally a silver platter.
maintain a dignified silence and refuse to get drawn into a fight that wasn't hers? Or should she turn her back on the wizarding lady, hang her out to dry, and make increasingly passive-aggressive attacks?
Literally for TikTok likes. Literally for likes on TikTok. She decided to destroy this person that gave her everything. Well, I'll be real. Stabbing people in the back is like pretty classy feminism. Am I right, guys? Am I right, guys? It's like you have a woman. I'm really proud of what I do. I have like 3 children and I love them all so much. Then you have feminists being like, you're an enemy to women. You're an enemy to women. You should be dying alone at the age of 47, overdosing on drugs and cats. That's what you should be doing. How dare you? How dare you?
Against her. I think you can guess which one she chose. And the thing is, that all worked great when Emma seemed to be on the side of current thing and the wizarding lady definitely wasn't. The problem with current thing though is that eventually it tends to change, and by 2025 the cultural
right,
wind
you chameleon fuck. Like, dude, I'm gonna make an analogy that some people are probably gonna dislike, but I'm gonna make it anyway because I've noticed that I should be saying the things on my mind regardless of whether people like it or not. I don't care anymore. The people that support current thing are the modern iteration of the Nazi soldiers that are quote-unquote just doing their job. It's not the ICE agents. It's not the government. It's not the fascists that voted for Trump. It's none of that. No. The most similar thing to the Nazi party is the party of the people that support the current thing because they're just doing their job, just following orders. Doesn't matter if the orders are castrating children or, there are 1 million abortions a year in America alone, 99% of them due to pure convenience. Like, the support of all of that, and that's eugenics, by the way. That is literally Nazi eugenics, all right? Literally just aborting babies because you don't like them for whatever reason. Actual eugenicism. Actual eugenics. So I really think that's the modern, Nazi National Socialist Party really is kind of on that side. And I think it's pure projection that they call everyone that they don't like a Nazi.
Had shifted dramatically. Public opinion on the issue was changing, and suddenly the wizarding lady wasn't seen as the evil witch who had to be defeated anymore. Now people were beginning to actually listen and even openly support her, and
That's right! Current thing has changed. Time for Hermione the Chameleon to find a new color.
Began to occur to Emma that she might have backed the wrong horse on this one.
What a snake.
Fuck. So what to do? Stand her ground and maintain her position even if it
She never had a position. Her position was current thing.
Wasn't so popular anymore? Or do a complete about-face and pretend like she'd never disagreed with the wizarding lady in the first place? Well, the answer came on September the 24th on Jay Shetty's On Purpose podcast, where Emma claimed that she loved the wizarding lady and supported her and would always be open to talking with her.
Alright, so as you can see, this over here, this is me. This is the guy, this is me. Hi. Waving at you because I like you guys, alright? This is me. Very cool, very cool. And in this hand, I am holding a gun that I am pointing at my own head, as you can see over here like this. It's not a very nice gun, but, it gets the job done. And this is me blowing my brains out because I fucking hate these disingenuous, absolute degenerate pieces of shit, lying scumfucks that will literally turn on a dime after stabbing you in the back. I have been backstabbed enough times, and I absolutely hate it. Stand on your business or get the fuck out. Unbelievable, disingenuous, lying shitbags, dude. Bro, actual living embodiment of basically what the Bible says. One part. What's the verse? What's the verse? All right, I found it. It's a banger. All right, Psalm 55:23. But you, O God, will bring them down to the pit of destruction. Men of bloodshed and deceit will not live out half their days. But I will trust in you. And that's where we're at. Absolutely. I will trust in you. But sorry, bitch. You ain't living out half your days according to God.
Oh, really? That's interesting coming from someone who spent half a decade publicly shitting on her. Now, if you were feeling forgiving, you could probably write this whole thing off as a slightly cowardly but very pragmatic decision by someone who senses the political sands moving beneath her and doesn't want to get pulled down by them.
I forgive you. I just don't trust you. I think you're a bitch and I will never trust you again. I think you should lose your career. I think we should make fun of you forever, but I forgive you. Hope God finds it in his heart to forgive you as well. He probably did, but God was way better than me. That's for sure. All right, God's a goat. God's goated. But God says you shouldn't live out half your days. All right, listen.
And that might have been all she wrote, except this particular interview came to the attention of the wizarding lady, who until now had stayed pretty quiet on the topic of young Emma. Not anymore, as it turned out, when she decided to deliver the mother of all dressing downs a couple of days later in a very lengthy Twitter post calling out Watson as a spineless grifter, a shameless opportunist, a fair-weather friend, and a spoiled, privileged brat that had never worked a day in her life and was only trying to cozy.
And a whore. She didn't say it, but that's what she meant to say. No, she's a feminist. Never mind. She a hoe. She absolutely a hoe. She hoeing around out there, hoeing, trying to get her body in front of as many eyeballs as possible. If that's not what we call a hoeing, I don't know what is. I'm sorry, man. We gotta call you for what you are. You out there putting your body in front of people's eyes for money. You making fake opinions. You pushing bullshit propaganda. You know why? To put your body in front of people's eyes for money. You a hoe. You a hoe. There are extra steps. You high class, but you a hoe.
Up to her again because it was politically safe now. Damn, bro, I've seen Mortal Kombat fatalities that were more forgiving than this. I've seen many a debate, many a scathing put down and brutal rebuttal in my time, but never in all of my days have I witnessed a person publicly dismantled with such brutal finesse. It wasn't just
It's almost like she's an author or something that she comes up with cooks like this.
takedown, it was a full-scale verbal evisceration and proof that if there's one group of people you really don't want to piss off in the online space, it's fucking writers.
True.
Especially billionaire writers with hundreds of millions of fans behind.
You do not want a billionaire author with fuck you money and access to Twitter to be your enemy. All right, listen. Lesson learned. You know what? Lesson learned.
Them who built their entire careers out of basically nothing. With that one post, Emma Watson's public persona was transformed from a slightly preachy but relatively respected activist to the living personification of everything that people find so repellent about Hollywood actors.
I'm really happy that the chickens are coming home to roost. I'm telling you, man, karma is real. Karma is absolutely real. Karma will come for you. And so will I. No, absolutely. But that's where we're at. That's literally where we're at. All right, I'm sorry. We're at the defafo stage of our life cycle. Okay, I don't want to hear this shit anymore. And I think a lot of people don't either.
The smug, patronizing, I know better than you attitude.
Lady, your job is doing what you're told very well for a camera and for an audience. Your job is nothing else. If you're doing something else that doesn't fit the job description, you could absolutely get fucking destroyed for it. And you should, to be honest. You absolutely should, especially if you're a disingenuous liar propagandizing actual fucking satanic bullshit. Yeah, it's gonna come around and bite you in the ass.
Chamber mentality that comes from a life of privilege and luxury, the mindlessly predictable conformity masquerading as sophisticated intellectualism, and worst of all, the willingness—
There's absolutely nothing intellectual about these people. That's the craziest part. It's all a facade. There is nothing intellectual about being a hoe. A Hollywood hoe. There's nothing intellectual about it. Your job is reading words written by people smarter than you, showing off your body to people that are sitting in their bedroom and having a good night at your public image expense. Or not, whatever. But the point is, there's nothing intellectual about this. You are a fucking meat puppet being paraded around by people. Every opinion, every, I support the current thing stance that you have, they're not your opinions. They're someone else's opinions. You're just using those platforms to propagandize yourself, and they are using you to push their evil. All right, realistically, if we want to look at this for even a moment, you are the absolute opposite of a intellectual, successful girl boss character. You're someone who got really lucky that J.K. Rowling decided to put you in her movie, and you've coasted off of that forever. Okay, you are the opposite of a girl boss, the absolute opposite. You are the royalty class that you claim to hate.
To abandon any position the moment it becomes unpopular. She wasn't just opinionated and insufferable, she was a coward. And for someone who built their entire brand on fearlessly speaking truth to power,
all these feminist girl bosses that are making believe that they're out there, they're preaching, they're saying the brave thing. They're going up against powerful people. Men that are powerful. We're going against those guys. They're the biggest coward scum fucks anyone could possibly find. And the facade is over, and the mask is off, and you're cooked.
Was the most damaging revelation of all. So what's next for Emma Watson? Can she possibly claw her way back from this? Well, her movie career basically ended 5 years ago when she pulled the plug on acting to focus on activism, so I don't really know if there's any momentum left behind her, even if she wanted to make a comeback. She's 35 now, which isn't exactly old, but it ain't exactly young either, and it's definitely not a good age to try to build your career back up after—
I do have to say, it's pretty funny that the age for whores and the age for actresses is pretty much the same. Like, if you think about it, the actresses and whores basically are at the peak of their careers, like in their 20s. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird if you think about it for a second that both actresses and whores have the exact same skill set. Wow. Literally wow.
Wasting your prime years in the wilderness. She's not likely to make much progress as an activist either now that her cover's been blown and she's willing to soften her position on the whole issue. Because if there's one thing that particular group of activists won't accept, it's betrayal. So it kind of feels like she's fucked either way. Emma Watson really is proof.
You have your millions, you could fade into— You know what my advice is to Emma Watson? I'm sure you're not watching this video through after I called you a whore 100 times, which is understandable, to be honest. I'm someone that's— you either like me or you hate me. It's one or the other. And I recognize that. But that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to let you know, Emma Watson, that my advice for you, in a nutshell, is you have made millions. You've been exposed as a fraud. Take this as a learning moment. Say that the J.K. Rowling tweet was a wake-up call for you, and you're going to look inward and work on yourself. Get married. Have some children. And literally fuck Hollywood. Fuck the media. Fuck this entire shithole. You have made your money. Build a life for yourself. Find God maybe on your path. That would even be better. And to be honest, you will have a much happier life as a person actually honest and not just saying the words written or pushed for you to say by other people. You could just build a family, you know? Like have some kids. Like you could support them forever. Maybe do that.
That if you stand for nothing, well, you'll fall for anything.
That's it, baby. Facts.
Anyway, that's all I've got for today.
Yeah, that was a great video.
Go away now.
Great video. So anyway, in my opinion, it is truly good versus evil these days, and I'd actually prefer to be on the side of good. I'm not saying that everyone needs to pick up the microphone, but I'm saying that everyone should pick up the microphone because your voice matters, and your voice doesn't matter to topple the patriarchy. Your voice matters to reestablish the patriarchy. Okay, that was a joke, sort of. Anyway, before I say goodbye, before I say too much, go. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.